Hello, everyone. My name is Corrine Heck. I'm so excited to have you guys here for our July Details University Live Masterclass. This month, I'm really excited to introduce you guys to my friend and also fellow detailer, Samantha Belonga of St. Ignace and Bloom. Welcome, Samantha, to Details University Live.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, I was so excited to introduce you to our fellow florists and all of the watchers out there. You are just, I feel like you light up every room that you walk in. And when I first met you, what was it, like maybe 6 or 7 years ago at the Michigan State Floral and Event Conference? I was like, I felt like we were family. So that is like my first recollection of you. So I'm so excited to have you on as a guest. So thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
Yeah. I when we met, you have been a long-standing member of the Great Lakes Floral and um events, I guess, as the association, and you've been helping that organization for much longer than you were even in the florals. For what I realized, you were the former event manager at the great Hotel the DeVos Amway Center. So
Yeah.
when we first met, you had already previously been met the association because you were the events director at this specific hotel. So that was like your first introduction, I guess, to the floral industry, or did you have any kind of,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I in high school, I actually worked at the shop that I now own.
Oh,
So, my aunt worked there and they needed some help, and so I was the greenhouse girl. I would water the plants and then I worked into doing floral deliveries. Um, and then after it was only a few months, there was actually sadly a really big funeral in our town, and the designers couldn't keep up with it. And so my boss handed me a design book, and she was like, "You need to make this and
yeah.
go." And so I was just like, I had the list of flowers. I'm like, what is Alstroemeria? And so like the other ladies took me into the cooler and showed me what to pull, and I just made the stuff based on what the pictures look like. And so that's how I started doing design. And
Wow. Yeah.
yeah,
Trial by fire, if you
oh
will.
yeah, for sure. And it was fun. I really liked it. And I worked there for a couple of summers. And my boss, she just reiterated to me that the sadly, the skill and the craft and the practice of being a florist is not a skill that's highly valued, and so you just can't really make a living unless you own a shop. She was just like,
Oh,
That's the reality of it. They don't, people don't value it enough to pay what it's worth and what it takes to get where you need to be." So I was like, okay, well, maybe when I retire, I'll own a flower shop and when I don't have to make money. So I went on and got my hospitality and tourism management degree with an emphasis in events. And I, like you said, I worked as an event coordinator at DeVos Place. And one of my clients was at the time, it's Michigan Floral Association, which they're now the Great Lakes Floral Association because it encompasses now Ohio and Indiana and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and all that. But they were my clients, and I worked with Rod and Cindy and Jackie and helped them put their event on. And Rod would always let me take flowers home. So I got a little fix of doing some floral design through that.
no, that's such a full circle moment because recently I feel like you were just named the Young Person of the Year by that same association. So what a neat moment, I think, to come back. Um,
Yeah,
be
that
honored.
was
Okay.
that was really cool. I remember Alex was with me at the dinner, and they don't they don't let you know ahead of time if you've won an award or anything. And so they get up and they're like, "This person, blah blah blah," and they just start saying this person and naming things. And partway through I was like, that really sounds like me. I'm like, and so they like start listening closer, and then they start saying things. I was like, that's definitely me. Like, like
No, I know the grin just keeps growing and stuff because Well, I feel like it's such a great crowd there. I'm from Michigan, so my very first, event was one there. So they are very much a community. It does feel like family, and I love that. I feel like anywhere in the industry you goes, but I particularly there, the Michiganders, they know how to throw a party really well, and everybody is just so welcoming, and I
Yeah.
feel like the relationship between the florists that are part of that community is there's no better reason to be a part of that organization or an organization like that because of, just William at Monarch over
Mhm.
there at Monarch Gardens. He's just so lovely. And if you need anything at any time, it's such a great atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the thing with where we are in the world. We're not like as remote as like places in Alaska, but we're pretty far from the nearest wholesaler. I mean, we're 3.5, 4 hours from our closest wholesaler. We get a truck twice a week.
Wow.
So if there's something that comes in bad, or if we need a specific flower for a funeral that popped up, we can't get it. We can't just go to the wholesaler like other florists can. So oftentimes I'll call William, I'll call Jackie, be like, hey, what do you have that's yellow? I'm gonna drive down and grab it from you. And we just trade back and forth and help each other out. So it is really uh, an industry with a lot of camaraderie over competition. And yeah, it's really nice. And I mean, William and Jackie are like a few streets over from each other and they do the same thing for each other.
I think they're best friends. I'm like, you're in competition, but at the same time. Well, and so you're in a really interesting part of the world. If this is Michigan here, you guys are like, wait, up here? No, where are you exactly on the hand? Okay, you're in the pinky. Okay, wait, I gotta
Yeah.
do this. Here,
We're
I know.
yeah, we're where the bridge connects the peninsulas.
No. So you have a flower shop and you're not on Mackinac Island, but you service Mackinac Island.
So
Is
our
that
main flower shop is in St. Ignace, which is the year-round port city to Mackinac Island.
okay?
And as of 2022, 2022, we opened a shop here on Mackinac Island called Flourish and Bloom on Mackinac. So
Wonderful.
we do have a location here on the island, and then starting this spring, we also took over management of the flower shop at Grand Hotel. So we're in two locations here on the island now.
And I feel like that part of the world is just such an interesting throwback to like a different era, if you will. Like there's still horse and buggies all moving throughout Mackinac Island. You are not delivering in a vehicle. Can you let the people know how you are getting flowers all the
Yeah.
way around? Yes.
So Mackinac Island banned motor vehicles. I mean, there were motor vehicles on the island. Ooh, I want to say back in like the 30s or 40s. I forget when they rebanned them. So now it's only bicycles and horse and carriage. So we have, and it's an island. So the flowers come over on a ferry boat and then they're loaded onto the dray, which is like a flatbed that the horses pull. Or we load them into our bikes. Like I think I took 15 boxes in my I have a cart that I pull behind my bike. So I had 15 boxes of flowers that I was pulling today around the island. And we have little foams that we deliver, we make arrangements and we deliver them just like anyone else, but we're just pulling them on a bike.
How you must be stopped all the time with people just so
We'll take our pictures a lot. A
oh,
lot.
yeah. No, and I thank you so much for participating in our AIF video.
Oh
You
yeah.
you make an appearance, and I don't know if you saw the finished one, but she's, like, rolling around on her bicycle, and I thought, "How perfect is that for what you do?" But, I mean, I don't think people realize the challenges that you're not only faced with, like, most people are worried about delivering their bouquets to the oldest city in America, like St. Augustine, like, the roads are so tiny, but you are dealing with an extra element and a lot more exercise you're getting there, Samantha. That's why
Yeah.
you're so
Definitely don't need a gym membership.
well, okay, so let's go back. So you first got started in hospitality and tourism. Obviously, that's something that you really enjoyed. When did you make that switch over that I'm going to move from hospitality into opening a flower shop? Tell us a little bit about how that journey went.
Yeah, it was a little bit forced upon me. So Alex and I were living in Asheville, North Carolina, and I was working for home repair mission there as their director of operations. So it was still kind of in the same veins as event coordinating, like where are people going to sleep? How are they going to get their food? And then they would go do home repair projects. So I was just managing the people and all of the logistics of getting them where they needed to go. And the organization did some restructuring, and they've actually moved to Florida now.
Oh,
Um, but they
everybody's
did
moving.
some restructuring, and the position that I held wasn't a position any longer. And so we looked for we looked for jobs, and the we had one child and one on the way.
Uh-oh.
And Asheville is a really expensive city to live in. And it was just like we could not find anything. I worked at the YMCA, but the only way that we would have been able to make it work is for Alex to work his job in the morning and then me to work night shift at the Y, and we would just be like ships crossing in the night. And so my mom, before I knew I was losing my job, my mom had called in May, and they had moved from Carp River, which is like 15 minutes north of St. Ignace, into town and right by the greenhouse. And she said, "Hey, the greenhouse is for sale. You and Alex should buy it and move home." And so I live in North Carolina, which has like the perfect split of the four seasons. And I was like, no, no, I'm not doing that. Like, sure, we'll pray about it, but I am not moving back to Michigan. 6 months of winter, no, thank you. I get like a month in the Christmas time, and it's perfect, and I love it, and I'm not moving home. Well, that was in May, and then we were driving home the next March.
Oh,
So,
yeah. You made it through one winter, so now you get them all the time. I'm sure you're loving that. Although she did stop by here in Florida on summer vacation, and she came and took a yoga class with me and my team. So
that was
I
awesome.
you are the only person to ever join us in details yoga. So, but so you also have taken the extra steps to become a certified florist. Can you tell us why you decided to put all of your energy into making sure that you're giving the best and doing the best, and why should others become certified?
Yeah, definitely. So as you know, I was familiar with the Michigan Floral Association, and they're the ones that have kind of spearheaded that program and getting it off the ground and making it kind of a nationwide recognized certification. And I immediately, when we bought the business, I we joined Michigan Floral Association. I started volunteer. Well, we went to the expo, and then the following year, I started volunteering, and I've been volunteering ever since. And there was no certified florist anywhere near us, probably within 2.5 hours of us. And so I I love learning and I love education, and so it was a natural next step for me to get the certification. And actually, two other of my employees have gone through that program as well. And I have two more that are in the process of taking the classes. Um, and we go to the convention every year and take classes. I'm really big on learning and educating. And it was just important to me to have our shop stand out, having a certified florist. And I'm actually studying right now to take my AIFD test next year in Orlando, actually.
Well, I'm proud of you. That is, we just came back.
Makes me nervous.
I know it makes me nervous. I feel like it's so much pressure, but I feel like when I watch those people walk along and accept their um, being recognized in such a way was so very special. And I'm like, gosh, I want that moment. So it might be in my future
Yeah.
too. I'm not sure if I'm going to be up for it before Orlando because I feel like you really need to train. And even though if you're a great designer, you might not know all the different techniques that you should be incorporating into your design. So I think they're definitely looking for certain things. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have the textbook to study, and I'm starting to make flashcards and
Oh,
all that
really? Yeah.
fun stuff, like I'm back in college again.
Oh, but that's such and I think it's an important reminder that you can never stop learning.
Oh
I
yeah.
also think that it's really fascinating that you just mentioned that the certified florist program began in Michigan. Um, and I'm not sure when they started that, but Man, people were really busy back in the 1920s. I think I was mentioning to you. I feel
Mm,
like that generation was just so busy with not only building buildings, but they were creating all these foundational things that we're still all leaning into. So,
mm,
and most of it is volunteer work. How many hours do
yeah.
you think you spend a year giving to these organizations and such?
Oh, well, most of the time that I spend volunteering is at the convention, and the actual convention is like Friday night through Sunday afternoon, and I usually get there on Wednesday night, and we start stuffing packets and getting badges ready. And I don't know that I've actually taken a class in a few years. I've just ended up in the back room, but
Yeah.
at hours and hours and hours that weekend. Um, Other than that, there's really not like, I never do the golf thing because 'cause I'm not a golfer, but
Yeah.
that's coming
No,
up.
we need to get like pickleball or something going into this.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I could get behind that. I would
No
just
more
embarrass
golfing,
myself
guys.
there.
Sorry. There's too many women involved in this industry for golf. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, I've
Okay.
got friends at golf, but I'm just
Yeah. I don't know. There's a
I'm
new
not
pop
at it.
stroke near us, which I'm kind of getting into. So your weddings are primarily all destination.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not there's how big is the population of Saint Ignace?
2,500 about 2,000,
So
2,500, and the island is maybe 500 year-round
wow.
residents.
Wow. So your any advice to anybody dealing with destination brides and what is the best way to go about selling a destination wedding when you may not meet the client at all? It might be all over Zoom, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Most of the time, well, Zoom has been so nice because it used to be all just over the phone. We just talk and email, and I wouldn't even know what my brides looked like until I handed them their bouquet. Now with Zoom, it's really nice because I can actually see them and talk to them and get to know them a little bit better. But communication, clear communication is, I'd say, the key, which shameless plug for details, that has been a huge help for us because we can not only show them like their inspiration photos, but we can show them images of all the flowers that we'll be using and the names of the flowers. So they're not surprised on the day when they see a scabiosa in their bouquet and they're like, what is that flower? Like they've seen them all ahead of time. They know what it looks like. They know what to expect. So I think that's probably key with any sort of wedding planning, but
Yeah.
especially with destination, I mean, I don't usually get to see them in the store to show them and have them touch flowers and look at them. Like it's all email and just sharing the proposals from details back and forth. If you are going to a destination like me, they're all coming to me. Like this is not a destination place for me. I This is normal for me. But we have done weddings that we've done in Grand Rapids where we are going to a venue that we're not familiar with, or we've done a wedding in Montana. And I'd say if you're planning a destination wedding where you are going as the florist to the destination, doing your research is huge because there are florists that are not from here that come and do weddings on the island, and they don't always necessarily do their research and realize that they have to walk or bike or cart everything wherever they're going and don't take into consideration the time that that takes. I have heard horror stories of florists that don't realize if they get an Airbnb in the city, but then they have to load everything onto a ferry, and that takes 15 minutes. And then if they don't get a dray right away, they can be really behind in time. We've had weddings, not our weddings, but I've seen weddings that they couldn't get the ceremony set up in time because the dray did not get the flowers there in time. And it's just
Yeah.
doing your research and knowing what to expect and planning. Lots of logistics over here.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a whole other set of circumstances that you aren't really prepared for. And
Mhm.
I feel like that's probably why this partnership or whatever it is that you have with the Grand Hotel works so nicely for you because they know that you know how it's done. They can trust you with their clients, and these people are probably spending a good bit of money at the Grand. So, can you tell us a little bit about that relationship or how like that came to be, and maybe some of the historical things about that particular venue?
Yeah, so we we've been this is like our 15th, no, 11th or 12th season. And even from day one, like I said, if we have a pack of roses that come in, we call a local florist and, get help. And my first year, called Mimi at Grand Hotel and I was like, I had Juliet roses come in bad. Do you have any? And she happened to have a wedding using Juliet's that week. And so I biked up and I got to buy roses from her and was able to finish our wedding on site. So from day one, the shop at the Grand Hotel was, a great partner and friend to us. And when the family sold to the Davidson Corporation, I think in 2019 or 2020, um, we they had some weekends that they had really a lot of weddings and they couldn't manage them with just the one designer and assistants that they had. And so we came in as a subcontractor and helped them during those busy weeks. And so we did that for 4 years, I think, helping as subcontractors. And so just continually building that relationship and being able to help out when needed. And then this year, when their seasonal designer fell through and it just didn't work out, they asked if we would step in and run the operations for them for the season.
Wonderful. Well, that was probably it definitely was so great whenever I had these feeder venues just sending us all the contracted work. So it definitely is probably eased up on the amount of proposals that you're sending out or how much time you spend working with those if it's already like a sure thing for the most part before you uh isn't that nice? I love that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
I
it's
would
just figuring
encourage
out what they want now.
yeah, no, I think that's so great. And the Grand Hotel, can you tell us anything about this venue? Is it like when was it built? And like, is there anything like super special about this of why people choose to get married there?
Yeah, it was built in 1887, I think. And it's just it's one of the most historic hotels up here. It's got the longest porch in the world, longest front porch. There's white rocking chairs all along it. I should know how long it is, but I don't. But that's where a lot of the ceremonies take place, is on the front porch that overlooks Lake Huron and Mackinac Bridge. And it's just it's got some history because there were some movies that were filmed there, Somewhere in Time with Jane Seymour, um, and
Reeves.
Christopher Reeves, that was filmed there. And so it's got kind of a cult following for those. They have weekends where they do a Somewhere in Time weekend, and everybody dresses up with those crazy hairdos that she wore in that show. And it's it's a bucket list place for a lot of people, I think.
You know, you've said a few times that we need to take a trip out there, and I'm thinking the more you're talking about that, I love that somewhere in time. So I didn't know that before. So now it's on my list. So in
Yeah.
addition to the florals, you also have a greenhouse you mentioned. So
Yeah.
can you talk about that? Because I feel like that's such a interesting aspect for a florist to also have a space where people can come and like, plants have become such a big part of our lives, even I think precluding COVID, but then when COVID happened, I feel like it also like made all these plant moms come out of the woodwork, if you will. So is that a big part of your operations, your business?
Yeah. So Alex is the one that heads up the greenhouse division mainly, and he's got four greenhouses, and they're typically everything's usually out of the greenhouses by mid-June because it's just too hot in there for them after that. Um, but he and his team, they do all of the hanging baskets on Mackinac Island, on Main Street and Market Street in the state park, and maintain them. And then we also utilize our gardens for cutting gardens for not only our daily work, but for weddings as well. So we have over 100 peony plants that we grow and harvest for weddings. We've got a few lilac trees for those brides that want lilac weddings on the island because there's, the Lilac Festival, and that's a huge deal. Right now, we've got cosmos growing because they're a great, fun summer airy flower. We've done dahlia in the past, but we've got a beautiful dahlia farm about 30 minutes south of us, and it's just easier to let him grow the dahlia, and we just buy them from him.
Flower hat, the flower hat guy.
Flower hat?
I think
I
that's
don't
what
think
it's called. He does dahlias? No. Oh, maybe that's wrong. Okay.
No,
No.
this is Hank, our dahlia guy. I don't know who the other
Okay.
guy
The
is.
hat. No, I'm just kidding. Is so you mentioned that the Lilac Festival. I love that so, so much. When does that happen?
First 2 weeks of June, and the parade is always on Father's Day.
Very nice. Is
Mhm.
there any other things, or creative strategies or ideas you've done to draw more people into the greenhouse? Because I feel like that's the best way to make a customer is just to keep them coming back. So what strategies can you have for other people?
Yeah, so we've done a few different things at the greenhouse. I think the most popular one has been kindergartening. So we bring in little kids and we let them plant pansies or vegetables or whatever it is, and they get their hands in the dirt. We tell them how plants work, and they just have a lot of fun. We take them on a tour of the greenhouses and tell them about fertilizing and just the how plants actually grow and why they need soil and why they need water and why they need plant food. So for sure, our kindergartening classes are the main thing. And then Alex has also done like hanging basket classes where he'll let people come when he's watering the hanging baskets on the island, and they can follow him and ask him questions while he waters and fertilizes all 100 or whatever hanging baskets there are, and that's been fun. And he just got his fourth greenhouse built this spring, and he really wants to do a community picnic in there, like a have a meal with, fresh grown veggies and all cool stuff like that. So I don't know if he's gonna pull that off, but he wants to.
No, I love it. The whole farm to table. And I think it's really inspiring because I can remember being a young person with a new young family, like wondering how are we going to figure our life out to
Mhm.
like make a living enough to like feed our family. And I it's refreshing to hear that you also went through those same challenges, but that you guys have like created something and you created your own life, and it's like kind of really, I think, inspiring to a lot of people to see the way that you have made it work, and you're an incredible business person, I think, there in Michigan, and you've made such a name for yourself, so kudos to you
Thank
on just
you.
like finding a way, and sometimes a menagerie of things that just don't make a lot of sense, right, for a lot of
Mhm.
us. Um,
Yeah.
you say that your background in event planning influences the way that you operate your floral business now, and where do you feel like those strengths help you in running like a small business?
Yeah, I think just understanding events from the venue perspective instead of from the florist or decorator perspective, like understanding the timelines and the turnarounds that they have to do in these rooms, either before or after your event, and just being able to clearly communicate with them and be able to be respectful and wait until it's your turn to get in and make sure that your timelines are planned out well enough so if you only have a few hours that you can get everything done. Um, so I think just being able to understand all of that end of it is really helpful because they appreciate it when you get out on time because they have to turn it over for another event. Very often they have to flip the room that night. And if you just leave your stuff there, it makes life hard for them. So there were a couple of places that the previous owner of our business had been kicked out of for not, cleaning up after themselves, and we have slowly been able to get back into their good graces by taking care of our stuff and
Yeah, no.
yeah.
No, that's Well, and sometimes it's just the etiquette might not be completely understood as this is the way it
Right.
is, and if people aren't ever told, then they don't ever course correct in those cases. So, I think that's what, is really important about having that event background or knowing the venue because you see the troubles that they encounter often there. Um,
Mhm.
what is your creative process when you work with clients, like with the bride that might come from the Grand Hotel? Do you start with like, do they give you the concept or does the bride meet with you and you come up with a concept to execution? What does that look like?
It really depends on the venue and whether or not they have hired a wedding planner or coordinator. If they've got a wedding planner or coordinator, they've kind of already worked through the vision board and what they want it to look like and kind of the aesthetics, and they're just sending me kind of what they want to achieve, and then I'm suggesting what they should do. At Grand Hotel, they have very specifically decorated rooms. Like there's one room that has black carpeting with white trillium on it. It's a native plant to our area, and it's I mean the flowers on the floor are like this big, so it's like a huge carpet with lots of stuff going on, and then the walls in that room are like a salmon pink. So if someone comes to me and they're like, "Oh, we want to do all like purple and blue hydrangea," I'm like, "Yeah, not gonna look good in that room. Do not do that." So it just really depends on the venue because Mission Point, they have this really beautiful small space for intimate weddings called the Colonial Room, and it's just got a beautiful fireplace in it, crisp white walls. It's like a clean slate. You can do anything you want in there. So it really depends on where they're getting married, what I'll suggest. And then also, like I said, if they've already got someone that's worked through their vision board with them, I'm just kind of filling in the spaces for them.
Yeah. Well, and I love that too. Do you prefer when they come with a planner already?
Depends on the planner.
Yeah, it's not the truth. Um, I know we had, Brandy Gar on many years
Oh yeah.
ago. She is a fun wedding planner that I worked with multiple times, and she has something that she started called the Wedding Pro CEO.
Yeah, I'm in it.
Yes, and you're a part of that group, and I feel like that introduction was really, like, a big boost, if you will, to your, enthusiasm for doing more social experimentation to garner, leads. Because Brandy's thing is just, like, put yourself out there, don't be, like, nervous about different things, and
Yeah.
of all the florists that have, done her program, I feel like you really stepped up the most when it came to, like, doing that. So, care to share any things about, like, going through that experience and why social you've leaned so much into the social aspect, and what has it done for your business?
Yeah. I think that at the beginning, I was really, you know, we're working with people on their wedding day. And so I thought, they want to see someone who is, buttoned up and professional and going to take care of them, which I I mean, I am professional, but like I feel like that's what they want to see. And Brandy's like, "Girl, no. They want to know you're real." And so w- there was a I think in 2020 or 21. It was really early on that she did this like 30 reels in 30 days challenge. Like just do it. Just put out 30 reels and 31 reel every day. And so I did it, and I really found a lot more of our clients or potential clients, they liked seeing like the goofy part of who we are, and yes, they definitely want us to be good at what we do and skilled, but they like knowing that we're real people and like we're silly and goofy and have a lot of fun. So I think it's humanized us to our potential couples, and it's made us more relatable, and we're it's easier to like be friends with them than just like I'm your florist and here are your pretty flowers and blah, blah. So
No, I think it's so fantastic. I've enjoyed, following you along on that journey too.
Mhm.
What do you find are the posts that resonate most with your audience?
I would say most in the last probably 2 years, educational in general, but for weddings specifically, budget. Because that was one big change coming from the event coordinator industry to the florist, like specifically wedding florist industry, is as an event coordinator, I worked with professional meeting planners who knew everything, knew what stuff cost, knew what their budget was, they knew what they were working with, they knew where to cut, and they were professional. And then you come into wedding floristry, and I thought my couples would come to me and say, I've got $3,000 to spend on flowers and I need this many centerpieces. And most of the time they're like, I have no idea how much flowers cost.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start. I'm not sure what to do. So it's a lot of educating and hand-holding and walking through the process because although we do have some second and third weddings that we do flowers for, most of them are just young couples that have never gone through anything like this before and they have no idea. So it is a lot of education. So Aubrey and I have really focused on kind of doing some budgeting education stuff like just do it like you would catering. Like, this is how much you would spend per person for your basic flowers. Like, if you have a 200-person wedding, $25 per person will cover all the basics of centerpieces, bouquets, blah, blah, blah. And just kind of at least putting an expectation out there or an idea of where to start. Because as much as I do love the the visual aspect of a Pinterest board, a lot of the Pinterest boards I get are 20 and $30,000 florals for weddings when I might have a bride with a 2 or $3,000 budget. So that it can create some unrealistic expectations, although it's nice to know kind of what they're thinking. But yeah, it's been a huge educational component, and those are the posts that get the most saves and shares are the ones about budgeting specifically and how to budget for wedding flowers.
Yeah. Do you find that you're losing any kind of jobs to the DIY bride? And what are your thoughts on that for them, particularly on Mackinac Island when they're like, "Oh, I can do all the flowers myself." And it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it happens.
yeah,
Uh, at least one or two times a season, I get a frantic call from one of the coordinators at Mission Point, like, hey, our bride's flowers all froze in the cooler last night. We need help. So sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. Um, I'd say most of the ones that DIY up here, they have someone maybe in the industry or that is retired from the industry and kind of at least has an idea of what they're doing. The the struggle with doing it here is the space. Like, where do you do that designing? Is you do it all in your hotel room, and not all of the hotel rooms on the island are air conditioned. And there's not a ton of space, and you can't always get a conference room to work in. Sometimes you can, but that's not a given. And I think that people forget how limited we are on space over here, and also not even space, but when you order flowers from, I mean, a wholesaler or Costco or whatever and get the boxes of flowers shipped to you, you still have to cut them and hydrate them and process them. And if you're in your hotel room, you're trying to get a bucket under the kitchen sink or the bathroom sink faucet. Like, where are you getting the hose for the water? Like, these are the things that they don't think about when they're, oh, I can just do the flowers. Like, they're coming like these little dry, shriveled things, and you have to hydrate them. And so every year, at least once, we have to step in and either make stuff from scratch or send stuff to supplement or, I don't know, help in one way or another someone who tried to DIY.
well, and I feel like that's a big opportunity for the social media posts that you could do specifically as your business is all the pitfalls of why they need to hire a professional. And I know I've seen some of those from you, which is kind of funny, like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, but it's not funny on your wedding day when you have to have,
Mm-mm.
you weren't thinking of all the problems that you are now encountering. So I feel like it's just unwise to not get a professional involved, but I'm always so like, this is exactly why people need to hire. a
Yeah.
florist. Just say, this is when I wanted to show up, and I just want to be a pretty bride drinking my mimosa and champagne on that wedding day.
Yeah,
Um,
and if you want to have something to do with it, like we had a couple that we did their wedding, but her dad had been like a horticulturist and he really wanted to make her bouquet.
is
And
it
so I was just like, you can come to the shop. I'll have everything ready for you, but I'm not sending it over to you. You come work with us for a day. And it turned out he didn't really even, I made it. He just like kind of like I would put it together and he'd be like, I actually kind of want that there. And like we made it together and kind of like an assisted DIY kind of deal, but it was really important to him to be a part of it. But there was no way I was going to send her flowers over to the hotel room on the island for him to figure it out. Like
yeah,
that was a
yeah.
no. Like
How
you're not
many
gonna be
times
happy.
he tied up a bouquet with satin ribbon? You know, it's like, just let me do what I do.
Yeah.
So I'm a professional. No,
Hmm.
but how do you feel about florists who are like, I just do not have enough time to juggle all of my weddings that I'm doing and show up online socially for people and do everything else involved? Is there any tips that you can give them of how they can like mix that into their day just to get those, because once you give the flowers away, you don't have the flowers as the prop in the videos. So I feel like you have to have somewhat of an idea of coordination when it comes to social media.
Yeah. Aubrey and I will do a lot of batching, which we also learned from Brandy, where we'll film like 10 reels in a day. Like we'll show up to the shop a couple hours early and we'll have already saved some audios that we want to use and have ideas for how we're going to use them. So we're not just like scrolling Instagram to try to find what we want to do. Like we've already done some research and figured out, okay, we want to really focus on um, budgets and expectations and DIY and the logistics of Mackinac Island. Like those are the things we're going to hit, and these are the audios we're going to use. And so we will go ahead and film like 10 of them in a morning before work starts. And then in the summertime, when we have weddings over here on the island, oftentimes, as you know, there's reception set up and then there's some time before you can only set the ceremony an hour beforehand here because they rent them back to back to back to back. So you got an hour, they're in, they're out, you got to move everything. So while we're waiting between either reception setup and ceremony start or ceremony setup and tear down, we'll have some audio saved, we'll have some ideas of what we want to film, and we'll do some stuff on the island. Like we'll do a couple things at the gazebo or at the lake shore. But we'll just make use of that would have been downtime while we were just waiting and batch some reels and some content. We have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I love Aubrey. And how did you stumble across that gem to be on your team? Like, is
Oh,
she from
it's
the
amazing.
island? Like, did she move there? Like, with 500 a population of 500, like pickings are slim when it comes to people.
Yeah.
How did you
So,
stumble across her?
well, God gave her to me, but
Okay, every time.
her mother took a trip. They're from California. So her mother, Lori, took a 50th birthday trip to Mackinac Island with a friend, and when she got inside Grand Hotel, she could smell that there was a flower shop in there because she had worked in flower shops. And so she went and found Margaret's Garden, and she was just like, I'm gonna work here someday. And so I don't remember if it was that same year or the following year, but she applied for their seasonal designer and she worked there for 11 seasons. And then I believe I want to say it was in 2016 or 17 that Aubrey and her husband Kenny moved here also. And Kenny worked grounds at Grand Hotel, and Aubrey worked with Lori in the flower shop at Grand Hotel. And so, as you know, it's seasonal on the island. So Grand Hotel is they start bringing people in to open in April, and then they close in October. So it was closed end of October through the next March. And my shop in St. Ignace was open year round. And since I had borrowed flowers from Lori at Grand Hotel. I was like, "Hey, we need help for Valentine's Day. Do you want to come help?" And so Lori would come subcontract for me for Valentine's Day, and then when Aubrey moved here, she subbed for me. And so it was really nice to have the extra help that knew what they were doing in the winter. And then, of course, we had relationship with sharing them in the summer. And then when the Davidson Corporation bought Grand Hotel, Aubrey decided she didn't want to work on the island anymore. She wanted to work in St. Ignace. And she reached out to me and just said, "Hey, do you know anyone hiring in St. Ignace?" And I'm like, "You need to work for me." She's like, "Are you hiring?" I was like, "Well, I will. I'll figure something out. Come." Like, you need to
Yeah,
come work with me.
yeah.
And so she moved into our shop manager position. And just this year, she's training another person to take over her shop manager job so that she can focus on like weddings and events and just solely do that part.
That's amazing. It's funny how people will often find their ways, but yes, I think God did give her to you.
Yeah.
So you were named as the Young Person of the Year by the Michigan Floral Association. Was that this year? Was
No,
this?
it was when I was young. It was like
Oh, well,
it
you're
was
still
like
young.
6 years
I
ago.
thought you just won something though from them. What, didn't you win some another accolade?
Oh, I mean, I was the chair for the convention this year, so I got to plan and pull off the convention and all that fun stuff.
Okay. Well, is there any one floral or business milestone from the past year that you're especially proud of?
Oh, milestone.
Yeah, what's the milestone? How many years is it?
Well, we our first season was 2014, so we're in 14, 15, 16, 17, 9,
11.
21.
I think 11.
Oh, this is our 12th season.
12th
So
season.
we're in our 12th season.
You've
Yeah,
you've birthed some children since you opened the business too. So,
I
yeah,
did. Yeah.
yes.
I not within the last year, but my biggest goal was I really wanted a shop on the island. And so when we were able to open Flourish in 22, I was just so excited to have a spot over here and to be in the mix on the island and seeing everybody every day. Because often, if you're on the mainland, I would talk to people on the phone and like take their order and send them flowers, but I would never, I get also never see them because I wasn't coming over to the island. So that was such a big accomplishment that I had been working towards, and I was really excited for that. And I think I don't know if it's a milestone, but an accidental accomplishment has just been the fact that we were able to take on the managing of the Grand Hotel Flower Shop, and Aubrey has really just like stepped into doing everything from the mainland shop because I've been at the day-to-day at Grand Hotel. And I think that it would have been harder for me to step back from the day-to-day in St. Agnes if I hadn't been forced to, because I'm not a control freak, but I like having some control, and I it's just been really neat to see her grow in her leadership and her organization. And I mean, she's very detail oriented to begin with, but it was just really cool to see that when I wasn't there and wasn't, stepping in to answer questions or do things, she had no problem just taking over and being like,
Yeah.
I got the weddings. Like, we're good. Like, I've
Well,
got,
she was trained too, like that comes with I'm sure she'll give many kudos to you for that as well as like being a good leader there and giving her the wings to fly and really do a spectacular job with it.
yeah, she's
Um, what advice would you give to other young florists who are just starting out, who are wanting to combine their passions like you have? Any words of wisdom in your old age? No.
I definitely can not underestimate the value of education. And then also in this industry, just networking and meeting people because you can get so many opportunities to learn if you meet somebody, like if you would meet me at the Great Lakes Floral Association and you are like, hey, I've always wanted to visit Mackinac Island. Everybody that says they want to visit, I say, come work with me for a weekend. I'll hire you as a subcontractor. Come work with me. And like if I know someone wants to learn and kind of dip their toes into doing wedding and event work, I will hire you for a weekend. I don't care if you know everything, if you have a certification. Like there are buckets to schlep if you don't know how to make an arbor piece. We're good. So, I mean, I've had multiple people come up and subcontract with us just to learn about the logistics of it and how that all works. And it's a great blessing for us to have extra set of hands, and it's also really cool for people to kind of experience it and see. And there are some people like Jackie from Sky's the Limit. She came in clutch for me when we did a wedding for Ms. America in 20, I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2021, and I didn't have enough hands, and so Jackie agreed to come and work for me for that weekend. And at the end she goes, there's not enough money in the universe, no, two universes, for me to ever help you with a wedding on this island again. And I was like, thank you, though. It was so great to have you. Because it's a lot. It is a lot.
Oh.
Um, but it's just a really great, it's a great learning experience. And you could see every logistical nightmare possible in a situation like this. So definitely network, meet people, ask if you can work with them, ask if you can come to their shop. When I was just learning, Jackie, again, Jackie's been a huge mentor and supporter of mine from day one. She had a technique that she did with using a bouquet holder, but making it look like a hand-tied bouquet. And I wanted to learn how to do it. So I volunteered to go help her on a wedding weekend, and she showed me how to do it. And I just made a bunch of these bouquets for her just so I could practice. So just practice, ask if you can help, volunteer, throw yourself out there, and definitely get education.
Well, and I always say I think your network is your net worth. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
as we get older, our network just keeps expanding. I think that's why people's net worth does as well. It's just because you're enriched by so many different people and the way that they've added value to your life.
Yeah.
So I concur with that. Lovely. Well, we've gotten to the rapid fire portion of our interview here. Are you ready, Samantha, to
I
participate
don't
in
know.
Flowers rapid fire?
Okay, ready.
Here we are. What is your favorite word in another language?
Ooh, contigo. Just means like with you.
Oh,
Contigo.
go.
Like, come on,
Wonderful.
with you. Contigo.
I love
Just
that. Going to Mackinac Island. Contigo.
contigo.
Yeah.
Come to
What?
Mackinac Island. Conmigo.
Yeah, right? No, I love it. What is that? What language is that?
Spanish.
Okay. Yeah. I only know Porquito.
Me too. But the guys on the loading dock at Grand Hotel, most of them speak Spanish, and I've been trying to learn Spanish since we lived in Asheville, so like a long time. But they'll talk to me every day. They'll ask me how I'm and, like ask me to like say something like what happened yesterday, and so I have to like actually practice speaking Spanish. So it's been good.
What is it? Your Dre? Is that what you called it? You're gonna do Duolingo Dre. No, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I got to figure out how to say Dre in Spanish. It's probably just Dre.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
Spell it. No. What is your drink of choice if I were to buy you one?
Ooh, I like an amaretto sour, but I like it with a little bit of pineapple juice in it.
What do you call that?
Well, Alex calls it a Tito's Twister because he puts Tito's vodka in it as well. So it's Disaronno, which is the amaretto liqueur. So Disaronno, Tito's, a little bit of pineapple juice, and some ginger beer. So it's not really an amaretto sour, but if I have to order like something off the menu, I'll order an amaretto sour. If I can make it up, I'll order Tito's Twister.
Nice. I like it. You're making me one next time I see you.
Ooh, yes.
What is your favorite flower?
My favorite flower to smell is stock.
Mm,
When it comes in, I just wrap it around my face, and I just ugh, I love it. It smells so good.
Are
It's
you
my absolute favorite.
partial to the California kind or the South American? Are you
We
familiar with
actually
that?
get ours from Canada.
Oh, that might be. I didn't know they grew it
I
there.
think doesn't Rosa Flora do it?
They do. I don't know if Rosa Flora does it, but they are Canadian. So, all right.
Yeah. I mean, I know
That's
we get our Lysianthus from them, but I don't really care where it comes from as long as it smells good.
nice. Um, what is one item that you can't leave home without?
Like in general or like on wedding day?
Your
In
choice.
general. I mean, I always have like chapstick or lip gloss, and usually I have like a mascara in my purse, but that's
Nice.
hmm
Girls, girl.
yeah.
Winter, spring, or fall? We've already decided you don't like winter.
Wait, favorite season? Summer, hands down.
Okay. Yeah.
Hands down. My
Are
birthday
you
is fall, so I should like the fall better, but I love summer. I love being hot. I love being in the sun.
yeah, should have went to Palm Springs then at
I
AIFD.
know. We had so many weddings that weekend. I couldn't make it happen.
Yeah. It was a scorcher.
Yeah.
Um, morning or evening? What type of person are you? Are you better in the
Morning.
morning? Morning?
Yep. I get up between 5:15 and 5:45 and nobody else is up, so I have like my own time. I can have my coffee, I can read my Bible, I can take the dog for a walk, I could read a book if I want because no one else wakes up until I wake them up. So I love just like my mornings.
Love that. What is a hobby you've always wanted to try, but you haven't yet?
Oh, that's a good question. Alex always tells me that my only hobby is working because I don't really do anything else. Except I have started playing pickleball. That's fun.
Oh,
Um, I think that I, we were talking about golf earlier. I really wish that I had learned how to golf when I was younger because you can do it basically until you die. Like you can just anyone can golf if you know how to do it. So that would be something that I guess it's never too late to learn. Um, but I feel super embarrassed when I don't know how to do it because like everyone else who golfs at 40 or 45, like they know how to golf because they golf. But that'd probably be a hobby that I wish that I had learned and I won't write it off yet, but I have to get over being embarrassed at not knowing how to do it.
just Happy Gilmore it,
Yeah.
just are you more of a thinker or a doer?
Thinker. Oh man, I roll things around in my head for a long, long time before I take the plunge. I just I'm slight bit of a perfectionist, and so I like to know that I've thought it through, I've looked at all the angles, that it's gonna work. Like I like to know that if I do this, 99% it's probably gonna be okay. Where I so sometimes I get that whole paralysis by analysis thing, and I just have to jump in. And that has been one thing that Jackie has also taught me when I've had couples send me these inspiration photos of these massive installations, and I would um, text her and be like, Jackie, I don't know if I can do this. And she's like, just tell them yes. We'll figure it out later. Just tell them yes. You can do it. I'm like, okay. And yeah, figuring it out is fun. Like, you don't realize how much time you spend in a hardware store as a florist and how much, like, drafting and architectural things like you have to think about when putting in these installations.
That's a good point. What is for dinner tonight?
I have no idea. Actually, Alex pulled out some ribeye last night, so hopefully he'll be cooking.
Okay, that sounds good. I love that.
Yeah.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Mm. I only do karaoke when my girls want to do karaoke, my daughters, and their favorite song to sing is Should Have Been a Cowboy.
I like that song.
I don't know why, but that is probably the last karaoke song that I sang was with them when we were in Florida. They love singing. They know every word. They love it. I don't really have a go-to one that I sing by myself, but I will go up and do that one with them.
What is your favorite dance move, and will you show us?
I I am a total white girl dancer, and I I can only do like the white girl point. Yeah.
My favorite one too. I
Yeah,
like doing.
I mean, it's easy. You can do it to any song.
Um, if you could have any superpower, this is our last question,
Okay.
what would it be and why?
Oh man. Superpower. I I wish I could disapparate like in Harry Potter, where you can like move go to different places.
Oh,
I guess it's
that
like
has
teleporting. It's like teleporting, I guess.
teleporting. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Is
I feel
there
like I am teleporting though right now. Like I feel like
right?
I'm right there in Michigan in the upper near the island with
Yeah,
you.
we're on the you're on the island right now.
I feel like it. We've just
If
teleported.
I open that window, there are horses in the stall behind me.
No way. I so that's so amazing. Well, I have loved catching up with you,
Yeah.
Samantha. Thank you so much for doing this and for sharing all of your life over there in Michigan. We will have to come for a details visit soon. We will do yoga on Mackinac Island when I come.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some yoga classes here down at Mission Point. Sue's does, I think, maybe a Pilates. I know Adrian does a Pilates class over here, so there's stuff to do here.
I'm all about it. And you're such a treasure from one Michigander to another. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you and the details. You add so much light to our details community. So thank you
Oh,
so much
thank
for being
you.
awesome. And if you guys want to catch her, visit her on her Instagram, on her website. We will post all of the links in this wrap up. But thank you so much, Samantha. It's been a great, and I wish you a happy rest of wedding season.
Yes, thank you. We are heading to Florida October 30th. So as soon as wedding season wraps up, we're coming down.
All right, we're gonna host a Halloween party for you. You can come to our Halloween party. No, yeah,
Yay!
we expect costumes, so you better dress
Okay.
up.
I'll just hit
But
the Goodwill when I get down there and figure it out.
no, that's awesome. All right, well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you next time.